Hey everyone, this is Matt. Welcome back to the channel. Today I will show you my super simple shrimp breeding tank. So this is the tank I will be using. It's only 12 liters, but it's actually perfect size for what we are trying to do. Regarding equipment, I went for a very cheap options. So this light is only 1.5 watts. It costs like $3 on Amazon. We really don't need anything more expensive or fancy for this kind of tank. And for filtration, I'm using a sponge filter. So again, cheap and simple option that actually works quite well with shrimp tanks. For the substrate, I will be using this kind of gravel. Of course, before using this, I pre-washed it, so it's quite safe to use. I know that the bottom of the tank could be left like empty, but it's not my thing. I would still like to have something, and I think that the gravel is actually a good option. I don't want to use active substrate for this kind of build. This is supposed to be simple and cheap. Okay, so what do we put inside? Well, actually, not a lot. Let's start from wood and plants. So you can see I have a very small driftwood, and on top of that I would like to glue some Java fern. To attach the fern, I'm using cyanoacrylate glue. This is very effective method to do that. Just be careful not to glue yourself into the wood instead of the plant, but otherwise I like this method. I think it's more efficient than cotton thread, for example. And regarding the fern, actually the biggest advantage of Java fern is that you can actually break it off from the bigger pieces. So if you have a few Java ferns in different tanks, you can just harvest this from them. And this is actually exactly what I did. So in my other tank, when I keep my epistos in my black water tank, I have a lot of big ferns that are growing great. So I just took a few pieces and I'm going to reuse it for this build. And this is actually a good method if you want to keep the cost quite low. And one last thing, this kind of glue is completely water safe, so you don't have to be worried that it may be like toxic for your shrimp or fish. They're gonna be fine. Okay, I think it's done. We can put it inside. Let's place it right here into the corner. The only other plant that I will be using in this build is Java moss. All the shrimp love to spend time on it. They like to graze on it. There is a lot of beneficial bacteria that lives on the moss, so it's actually quite good anyway. So I will be doing almost the same, but this time attaching to the wood. I will be doing this without any glue, because the moss, it will attach itself very quickly and it will not float to the surface. I'm placing the second piece also in the back. I want to have a good view on what's going on in the tank. And all the leftovers from the moss, I'm just placing on the side. I will be also using this feeding dish. This will help me to keep the tank clean. And the last detail I'm using are beech leaves. I will include 2 because they are very beneficial for shrimp and they actually like to graze on it when it decays. And that's it, we are done. I know it looks super simple, but this is by design. I think I'm quite happy. I'm ready to move it into its place. And this is how it looks like on the shelf. Obviously, it doesn't look like a real aquascape, but this is by design. I created this to breed few shrimp. So let's fill it up. Okay, so the water looks a little bit murky, but that's fine. It will clear out in a few days. You may notice few floating plants. This is Salvinia. At the very beginning, it will be very beneficial to keep the tank a little bit more stable. And these are the shrimp that will be living in the new setup. Hi guys. I'm recording this 10 days later, so don't worry about the tank not being stable or anything. So the shrimp breeding experiment officially starts now. I will keep you posted when we get, if we get, any shrimp babies. That's it for today. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them below, and see you next time.